Is the mining influencer giving you the right information advice? Conversations about mining. Hi, Jess. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Andrew. How you going?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. So, this is a topic that comes up with us a lot with the mining influencers around the place and people giving advice out. Yeah, so the
Yeah.
easiest, and I know you've got a little bit to say about this, but yeah, are the influencers on TikTok giving us the right advice to go out and get a mining job?
Yeah, I think it boils down, I guess, to the same principles that we would say if you're looking for a mining course or you're looking for someone to do a mining resume for you. You kind of need to have a little checklist going of, are they actually credible? Do they actually know what they're talking about? Do they have the information? Are they in the industry? Because a lot of these influencers are utilities or maybe dump truck operators that's all they've ever done,
Or they
or
pump grease all
trade
day?
assistant. Yeah, or they've gone in as a trade assistant. There's even a couple that don't even work in the mines anymore and haven't done for a long time and are still just have a massive following and are giving information about you need to do this course and you need to have this and this and this, and they're actually selling a lot of it, or they're working with brands to sell things. I guess similarly to what we do, but they're not helping anyone. Andrew and I have calls all day, every day from people saying, oh, well, I've done all my heavy equipment tickets and I've done all my working at heights and gas testing and, I've done this and I've done that. And we're like, why did you waste all that money? Like, you really don't need to do that at the moment. If you had any idea about what was going on in the industry, you would not be giving that advice out to people because it makes you look stupid and, and uninformed about what's happening. It might have worked for you in the last few years, but the industry has changed. And yeah, this is really gets me going.
Yeah, because it's changed big time. Like the advice that people were giving out, these TikTokers that were giving out advice 18 months ago, if
Yeah.
they're telling you to go and get a shutdown job or utility
Mhm.
work and all that sort of stuff, they're really pointing you in the wrong direction just because of what's happened in the industry in the last 6 to 12 months with the downturn in lithium and nickel. A lot of the
Yeah.
jobs that there were plentiful of, there aren't many of them anymore. And where there
No.
weren't lots of jobs, there are lots of jobs now because the gold price and the copper price has spiked. So one of the big
Yeah.
places that nobody's really talking about for people coming in from overseas is diamond drilling offsiting. That's a huge
Hmm.
one where people are going to be able to get lots of
Yeah.
jobs.
Yeah, and that's what we probably tell people every day. We're making calls, chatting to people, doing free consultations. We do free consultations. We don't charge for them either. We don't charge for any of our information that we give out in a consultation or afterwards. Like, we give you all the information for you to make a decision. And all we say is we don't, obviously we want you to come to us because that's your highest chance of getting one of these jobs that are around at the moment. But we don't want you wasting time and money, because we come across people that are like, man, especially at the moment with how the industry is, the iron ore, nickel, lithium, and even coal, the prices are low. And so all of those big open pit and surface mines that had construction and you had trade assistants, you could basically do a working at heights of gas testing and just walk into a job as a trade assistant even 6 months ago. But it's just not like that at the moment. And a lot of people, especially people we're having at the moment that are coming over on working holiday visas, are doing all of these tickets and licenses and thinking they're going to walk into a job and do their regional time working FIFO and make great money. It's just not working for them. They're spending loads of money and they're stuck and they still don't have any work. So please don't waste money on tickets and licenses. We say it all the time. And just be aware of these influencers that you're following. Actually ask them, if you're booking in for one of these consultations, before you book, ask them what their experience is in the industry currently. Do they know where all the entry level roles are at the moment and the new to industry roles? Do they know, the prices of all of the minerals and the supplementary minerals as well? Do they know what's happening and where the work is? Because I would almost guarantee that 99% of them have zero idea
Yep.
about, about what is happening.
It's the same with surface exploration, like surface offsiting jobs. I've
Yeah.
had a few people asking
Yeah.
about that. Why aren't there all these surface offsiting jobs, especially with the high gold price? Well, because with what's going on in the industry at the moment, with gold at $4,500 an ounce Australian, it's really a seismic change because a lot of small players that were basically exploration companies are sitting on all these pits and these leases that 10, 15 years ago, the pits weren't viable to go underground at maybe $1,500 an ounce. But at $4,500 an ounce, if you've got 25 ounces or 20 ounces underground, that's $90 million worth of gold sitting down there that you can go and get. And a lot of people, you can start an underground
Yeah.
mine on that and you can keep going. And why they need all the diamond drillers, the underground diamond drillers, is that as soon as you start your underground mine, you have to get the diamond drillers in straight away so they can drill out the next levels below so you can plan them so you can keep on going. And so you've got all these underground mines that
Yeah.
are starting up that are having to employ all these diamond drillers and diamond driller offsiders so they can keep that momentum
Yeah.
going. And so there's definitely been, I've noticed in the last sort of 6 months, been a big shift, not away from surface exploration. It's just that's a bit limited what they're doing. There's still like, there'll be still places that will get people in on the surface just to do some infill holes, just to make sure what's down there
Yeah.
is down there. But going out and finding brand new deposits, it's not really on the cards at the moment when people can make so much money out of what they've already found and what they've already got. And so that's where everybody's going. And with the way capital works, if you've only got 200 million in the bank and you want to spend, you can't spend it on everything. So you've got to make a choice. And people are choosing doing the underground route and tapping these underground mines because that's the way they're going to make the most money out of the next sort of 5 years. And yeah, it's just knowing stuff like that makes a huge difference in getting a job. Because if you're
Yeah.
running around trying to get a TA's job on a shutdown that's not, that was scheduled to happen, that's been cancelled, opposed to going and getting a diamond driller offsiders job, or like Freddie did in Mount Isa as a backpacker up there as an Aggie driver, a couple, yeah,
Yeah.
third week of January, he got that job. But yeah, if you know how it all works, it just makes a huge difference getting a job and knowing where it all is and what's going on in the industry and being able to talk the language to people. That's also really, really important. Yeah, because we've had a few
It is.
people. Yeah, we've had a few people lately that have headed up to these mining towns, but it's been a bit hit and miss. I'll be honest with you. We've had some people
Yeah.
succeed and some people fail, but I think the takeaway out of all that is that you need to be prepared to take your swing, and so you need to be able to talk to them and be ready to go, and not just pitch up there and expect them to teach you everything. Because if you're expecting the employer to teach you everything, then you're looking at a 2 to 3 month time frame, unfortunately. Whereas they want you up to speed as
Yeah.
quickly as possible, and you can use the training to do that and get your resume sorted out by Jess and all that sort of stuff. You can have all that sorted and ready to go. And that's the easiest way to get in at the moment and target the jobs where they actually really need people, like the underground
Yeah.
drillers, offsiders jobs or the nippers jobs, and go to the country towns where they're actually employing. Mount Isa is a good
Yeah.
place to go to. Kalgoorlie is a good place to go to, those sort of places.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. You have to be proactive and you have to, like Andrew said, you have to be ready to really like get in there and make it your job to find a new job. Like we have so many people that just, oh, I've been applying, but I'm not getting anything back. Yeah, they've been on Seek and they've maybe applied for 50 or 100 jobs, but maybe their Seek isn't up, they haven't updated their location, or there's little bits and pieces like that aren't working. And then they're not following up. They're not going to where the jobs are. They're not calling people and hounding people. And you really have to just kind of get out of your comfort zone a bit if you want to make it work, because at the moment there is work around. And we are seeing people like every day get jobs using this three-step plan and using Andrew's courses as well. Just, yeah,
Yeah,
the,
we
the
got
work.
got a really good email the other day off Stuart, who got himself a
Yeah.
job in New South Wales, and he used the training, and Jess gave him some good follow-up advice about following up with the employers. So he sent his resume out that he got done with Jess, and he'd done the course to all the jobs in New South Wales around Orange and Parks and Dubbo, Cobar, Broken Hill. And then he did a follow-up call saying, I'm driving out there. Would you like to see me? And he ended up with 4 companies saying, yes, we'd like to see you if you're coming out. And so he stopped in and he did an interview at Orange. I think you can read this all on his Google review. He did a Google review for us as well. But yeah, he did an interview in Orange, and then he went out to Broken Hill. He had a couple of interviews in Broken Hill, and then he was going to go back to Cobar to do an interview. And yeah, the second job that the second interview that he did, the first one at Broken Hill, he actually got offered the job that afternoon. And so he never ever made it back to Cobar. And so, yeah, he was really wrapped with it. And one of the best things that he put in that Google review is like trying to absorb the information. He said was like trying to drink out of a fire hose. It was, pretty full on. And doing the training makes that a lot easier because you can absorb it in smaller amounts. And like he said, he went back and referred to it on several occasions, which people do a lot of. But yeah, it's all about educating yourself and showing the employer that you know how it works, and then following the instructions. That's the big thing, following the instructions.
That's the thing I think where most people fall down is they think, right, oh, I've done it now. I'm just going to go off and apply, and they don't follow the instructions. And the training is amazing that you can go back and look at that. You own that forever. You can go back and refresh every time you have an interview. You can go back and do a little refresher and go through the information again. So there's no reason why you can't walk into an interview super confident and know exactly what to say when they ask you any questions.
Yep.
So it's
Yeah,
definitely
and
really
and
important.
I always take the phone call as well. So I've had a few people that have done the training over the last couple of years call me in the last few weeks asking for a bit of advice about next jobs and all that sort of stuff. I can't help myself. I'm not going to not take the phone call. It's easy advice to
Yeah,
give. It only takes a couple of minutes. The industry doesn't change. It's all the same. Yeah, and having an independent sounding board to talk to sometimes can be really good. That somebody that just can give you some straight advice.
definitely. So if you need some straight advice, please reach out to Andrew or myself. We're happy to point you in the right direction. Please be mindful of who you're following on social media in regards to getting FIFO or mining roles. Really ask them about what their experience is and what roles they've worked in and just how they're getting the information that they're giving, because a lot of it we're finding at the moment is really not relevant at all
It's out of
to
date.
getting any roles. Yeah, it's not relevant.
Yep. Yeah. No, you need a TARDIS to go back, sort of 18 months to get these jobs. And if
Yeah,
they're telling you to get a dump truck on the surface, you need 5 years to go back to get one of those. Um,
easily.
yeah, yeah, it's just crazy. But yeah, great advice, Jess. Really good advice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Be really mindful. Just, yeah.
Yeah.
But everyone's trying to make money and sell things. And a lot, like, obviously, a lot of these people are selling has worked for them. But you've just got to think about the time we're in right now is very different to even 6 months ago. So really do your research about what jobs are out there and what you should be looking at. And
Yep.
like I said, we're happy to help. If you have any questions, we don't charge anything for a consultation with either of us or both of us or whatever you want to do. Just reach out and we're happy to help.
Yeah, and like Jess said before, because we've got our finger on the pulse of what's going on, you only have to go back and look at the podcast that we've been doing over the last 18 months to see how we've changed as the industry's changed with what we're telling
Yeah.
people to do. And because
Yeah.
that's the way you've got to be. You've got to be adaptable, if nothing else, in this industry. Otherwise, you're
Yeah.
just going to waste a whole heap of time. But yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
if anybody's got any questions that they'd like to ask, please send them through. And if you could like the video and yeah, sign up to the channel, that would be really good and help the algorithm. And yeah, if you could share it around. And thanks.
Thank you.